Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most important Terraform concepts, which is called dependencies. We will see how Terraform decides the order of resource creation and what is the use of the depends on parameter and how it helps us handle the technical hurdles while managing the infrastructure. Okay, so in the previous video, we have discussed about one of the dependency which is called implicit dependency. In this class we are discussing more on explicit dependency. Okay, basically Terraform automatically understands the order in which resources should be created. That's called an implicit dependency. But sometimes we want to manually control the order, so that's where explicit dependency comes into play using depends on keyword. Okay, let's say we have an S3 bucket and an EC2 server. Normally Terraform does not know there is any relationship between them. However, let's say I want my EC2 server to use that S3 bucket to store something. That is where we defined an explicit dependency. Okay, now depends on is actually called as a meta parameter. Why? Because it can be used for any type of resources, not just like EC2 or S3 bucket. Meta parameters are common to all the resource blocks in Terraform. So if you even face any technical hurdles while managing the resource order, that's where meta parameters become super useful. Okay, so let's see the code. Here there are two resource block. One is called AWS instance, which is called EC2 server, and another one is called S3 bucket. And first one, it should be their provider block. Okay, anyway, that is common. That's what I did not define actually. Okay, so while practicing time, you can write the provider block on top of AWS instance resource block, then you can execute the following commands. Okay, so when you run these commands, so you will see that the S3 bucket gets created first and then the EC2 instance come up. Why? Because while defining that AWS instance resource block, we have defined the meta parameter called depends on. So where the EC2 server will be depends AWS underscore S3 underscore bucket dot test. Okay, so once you run these commands, you can clearly see the difference actually. So how the Terraform respects the dependency order. Okay, now if you run Terraform init, it will initialize that workspace and it will download all the dependency plugins. Then Terraform will validate the code, whether the code syntax and everything is correct or not. Then Terraform plan will be created, the plan for about resources, and then we can apply that plan, and finally we are going to destroy that resources once everything is verified. So when we do Terraform destroy, this time Terraform will destroy the EC2 instance first and then the S3 bucket will be removed. Okay, but creation time it's a reverse order. Okay, basically Terraform ensure dependency integrity. So that is where first is the child and then is the parent. If you ever want to delete a specific resource, Terraform destroy, then -target is equal to AWS underscore instance dot test. So like this we should have to give it actually. So let's say if you delete the parent, both the parent and child get deleted. If you delete only the child, only that resource get deleted safely. This is where Terraform really help us to manage the infrastructure provisioning smoothly. Okay, so to summarize this, use depends on when you want to explicit control. It's a meta parameter applicable to any resource, not only for EC2 and S3 bucket. Okay, it helps to maintain the resource order and avoid unexpected issues, and that is where how Terraform automates dependency, and that's how Terraform automate the dependencies efficiently and smartly. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Terraform tutorials. So please use this code and you can apply these commands. If any doubts, could you please comment in my channel. Thanks for watching.